According to the National Weather Service, there are roughly 800 tornadoes in the U.S. every year. They will kill between 70 and 80 people and cause over $2 billion in property damage. And it's likely these numbers would be much higher, if not for a brilliant man named Dr. Ted Fujita. He was born as Tetsuya Fujita in Kitakyushu, Japan in 1920, and graduated from the Meiji College of Technology in 1943, where he would serve as an assistant physics professor until the end of World War II. The end of the war itself took everyone by surprise, with the first and only use of nuclear weapons in combat. Due to his science background, Fujita was called upon by the Japanese government to investigate the damage and try to determine what kind of bombs were used and how they actually worked. He was able to tell a lot about the bombs by their burn patterns, and also the damage left by the pressure waves. This would inform his later work in meteorology, and inspired him to pursue a doctorate's degree in atmospheric science from Tokyo University, which he would receive in 1953. During his time in Tokyo, he would observe 2 thunderstorms and, after translating his findings into English himself, would mail them to Horace Byers, an atmospheric scientist at the University of Chicago. Later in 1953, shortly after graduating, he would be invited to Chicago by Byers himself to work with him. He would work at the University of Chicago from 1953 to 1987, where he would do some of his most important work. Most famously in the 1960s, he would develop a scale for measuring tornadoes that still bears his name to this day. The Fujita, or F scale, ranks tornadoes from F0 to F5, depending on their wind speed and damage patterns. He developed this scale by traveling all over America, visiting towns that had been damaged or destroyed by tornadoes and surveying the destruction. In 1974, he noticed something remarkable while taking an aerial survey of a town beleaguered by a tornado. The same damage patterns that the nuclear bombs caused on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were also caused by tornadoes. This led to the discovery of microbursts, which are sudden, powerful bursts of air, not unlike those one might create with an air cannon. Microbursts from a tornado are often vertical and blow all their air straight into the ground, causing the air to spread out in all directions with a powerful shearing force, much like a bomb. Fujita called these phenomena downbursts and wind shear, and went on to prove that most of the damage from a tornado is actually caused by these. In the 1980s, following the tragic and mysterious loss of 2 airliners, Pan Am Flight 759 in New Orleans in 1982, and Delta Flight 191 in Dallas-Fort Worth in 1985, which together claimed almost 300 lives, Ted Fujita was able to figure out that downbursts were the culprits behind these accidents by using a new technology called Doppler radar. These findings led to the FAA installing Doppler at every major airport in America, virtually eliminating air accidents due to downbursts. Dr. Fujita passed away peacefully in his home in 1998, but the impact of his work is still felt to this day. From the development of early warning systems for tornadoes, to the discovery of the effects of wind shear on airplanes, and the advancement of Doppler radar, Ted, or Mr. Tornado as his friends lovingly called him, continues to save hundreds of lives every year, even a quarter century after his death.